This time we look at a model of a machine in the mass excavation sector. And that's not just blue sky thinking, even though that's what's shown on the box. No, this model is made by WSI Models, and it's a Volvo, and it's the EC950F excavator. And there's an impressive photo of it on the box. If we turn it around, we see there's a line diagram of the machine, and it's always nice to see some technical information about it. A few more twists and turns of the box and we get to look underneath, and you can see the WSI Models logo, and if we look up close, this is model number 64-2010.
Let's weigh it up.
We lift the box onto the cranes etc. weighbridge, and it comes in at about 2 pounds 11 ounces, which is 1.23 kilograms. Okay, as usual, it's time to open the box and see what's inside. And it's no surprise because it's the usual pair of expanded polystyrene trays. And one tray is helpfully marked top. So this is not the Australian version. Now there is tape to cut, and it's a fiddly old job because of the shape of the trays, and you cut in and out and up and down and on it goes. Let's hope that one day all trays clip together rather than being taped. Either that, or we'll just have to cut the tape at super speed. When finally the tape is cut, we can lift the top tray off, and there is the model protected by a sheet of clear plastic. We can then get on and lift the model out, and this one arrives already with a load in the bucket. But there's no assembly to do because the model is complete. Out of the box.
Let's weigh it up again.
Onto the weighbridge with the EC950F, and it's 2 pounds 3 ounces, or just a tad over 1 kilogram. Looking underneath, and the model is unusually detailed, and that includes on the undercarriage. As you can see, the underside of the body has many different grills and panels marked. And the metal crawler tracks also look very good. Looking at the track frames, then there are working rollers on the top, and a nicely detailed drive sprocket. Other details on the track frames include step irons. Here you can see the finely detailed track pads, and here's a view between the tracks. But the model doesn't have the extendable track frames of the real machine. There are some very nice small details such as this grab handle, and the mesh walkway is also great because you can see through it. You can also see through the protection grille at the front of the cab, and there are lights above it. Most of the grab rails are metal, but the ones in front of the cab are plastic. As usual, there's a mirror and there's some good internal detailing inside the cab. And a very nice small detail is the door handle, and particularly good is the Volvo logo that's next to it. The protection screen on top of the cab is metal and there's a beacon light behind, and towards the back the body has more grab rails and indentations for grills. The graphics on the model are very sharp, and you can see that again in the Volvo name on the counterweight. There's a rear video camera, tiny graphics and nice highlighting, and it's always nice to see that the counterweight lifting eyes are properly formed. On the other side of the model there are many different types of grille, all formed by indentations. More of the very nice detailing is at the front with the perforated steps and the textured walkways, and these all give the model a convincing appearance. The hydraulics detailing of the main boom rams is also very nice, with soft hoses running to the rams. And there's a lot more fine detailing on the top of the body, and that includes more textured surfaces, and also some tiny graphics. Hydraulic pipes run up the top of the boom, and then they transition into soft hydraulic hoses. There's also piping on the ram jackets. The hydraulics continue over to the bucket cylinder, and the look of the model is enhanced by the connection rivets being painted. The big metal bucket is a very nice casting. Looking underneath, and the crawler tracks can be moved easily by hand, and you can rotate the undercarriage. Right side up, and the crawler tracks are fairly free rolling, with just the occasional stickiness. There's too much friction to roll on a smooth surface, but if the tracks can bite, then they will roll. Rotation of the body is nice and precise, with no rocking. Moving on to the main digging functions, and the stiffness of the hydraulic rams is just about right. They will hold any pose that you can set, and as you can see here, the machine reaches up reasonably high. It can hold a horizontal pose of the boom and stick, and because of the heavy weight of the model, it is perfectly stable. And if you want, you can fold the machine up really small. But you can't properly represent a transport load because the tracks are not retractable and the counterweight can't be removed. If we test out the ability to dig at depth, and on this function the model scores very highly, with the boom being able to be properly lowered. One thing you can't do though is to detach the bucket, and that's a disappointment because on the previous model, the 950E, the bucket had bolted connections and so it could be removed. The model has one other feature, and that's an opening engine hatch, and then you can see the Volvo engine inside, and there are a number of different components. Of course, a model like this always looks good posed working with another. This F version of the model is a very modest update to the previous E version, and it's a bit disappointing that the functionality of the removable bucket has been taken away. But having said that, WSI Models has produced something that's very detailed, and the functionality that's engineered works very well. It is a very solid and robust model, and as a large excavator it's just good enough to be rated as excellent.